we are unable to live our life fully, unable to do what we want to do. We are not able to realize our potential properly, and we are unable to live the way we want to live, unable to enjoy the life properly. Biggest reason, biggest hurdle of all these, it is the fears. Fears are crippling us, making us unable to move, unable to do, unable to thrive, unable to enjoy. Fears are our biggest enemies. So, if the fears are our biggest enemies, I think we need to do something about all that. We need to understand it. And of course, we need to take the right action. We have made it a topic of our discussion today about understanding the fears on the one hand, trying to overcome and trying to know what are its effects upon our life in a technical, scientific, psychological way. First of all, we need to define what the fear actually means. It is an emotional response to a perceived threat or danger. An emotional response to a perceived threat or danger. So that is called fear. Since the response is emotional, so that is why maybe it is called fear. Now we need to know what are the types of the fear. So there are five types of fears. Every fear belongs to one type or the other type of it. One type is called rational fears. So these are based on logic, like fear of heights, like fear of snakes, scorpions, stings of different flying insects. So these are called rational fears. The second type of fears are the irrational fears, totally illogical, like the fear of spiders, the fear of cockroaches, the fear of an enclosed spaces. The third type of fears is the social fears, like fear of rejection, like fear of public speaking. The fourth type of fear is the psychological fears. For example, the fear of failure. So that is a psychological fear. The fifth type of the fear, the fifth type of the fears are phobias. What are these phobias, by the way? These are intense, persistent fears. In, intense on the one hand, persistent on the other hand, intense and persistent fears. Now let's look upon the common fears. Most of the fears are one of these types of fears. One is glossophobia, like the fear of public speaking. speaking in front of somebody important. Glossophobia. The second fear, it is aerophobia, like the phobia, the fear of heights. Many of the people don't look like to go to the heights at all. I'm one of them, by the way. The third common fear is ophidiophobia, like the fear of snakes, the fear of stings of scorpions, or that of the flying insects, like the wasp, the big wasp. The fourth common fear, it is trypanophobia. What is this trypanophobia? It is the fear of germs. Some of the people, they are always seen every time they come in the public, they wear masks, they don't shake hands, they don't want to eat and drink in the containers where other people have eaten or eating. So that is the fear of germs, trypanophobia. Fifth is aerophobia, like the fear of flying, aerophobia. The sixth is claustrophobia. It is the fear of enclosed spaces. The seventh is mysophobia. The eighth is cynophobia, and this is the fear of dogs. The ninth is astrophobia, like the fear of space. The 10th and the last is thanatophobia. It is the fear of the death. So these are the 10 common fears. Now we need to know what are the causes of these fears. What are the causes of these fears? So there are 5 causes of fears. One is past experiences, like anything which happened in the past is not has become a kind of fear. Any bitter experience will stop us doing the similar things, although it is very safe now. Like if at all a stranger has caused any unpleasant experience with a child, does not mean that every stranger is a dangerous person and we need to stay away from that. So one cause of the fears is past experiences, and the second cause of the fears is learned behaviors, like we intentionally calculation made us decide something, we adopted it, we learnt it. The third is genetic predisposition. It is like because of something, any fear because of the genes. The fourth is a brain chemistry. The brain chemistry, fourth cause of the fears is the brain chemistry. Brain chemistry varies from person to person. The two twin brothers, born at the same time, from the womb of the same mother, raised in the same sort of atmosphere, handled in a similar way, still, if at all, one of those two is suffering from any type of fear, it is called the brain chemistry. And then the fifth is the social and cultural influences. Another cause is the social, another cause of the fear is the social or cultural influences. There are five causes. And let me repeat it in few seconds only. One cause of the fear is the past experiences. The second cause of the fear is the learned behaviors. The third cause of the fear, it is the genetic predisposition. The fourth cause of the fear, it is the brain chemistry. And the fifth cause of the fear, it is the social or cultural influences. Now let's go toward the next segment, which talks about effects of fear. What are the effects of the fear? One quite common effect of the fear, it is the anxiety. The second quite common fear of the fear of effects of the fear, it is the panic attack. One effect of the fear, it is the anxiety. The second effect of the fear, it is the panic attacks. The third effect of the fear, it is the avoidance behavior. The fourth effects of the fear, it is the social isolation. The fifth effects of the fear, it is the physical symptoms like rapid heartbeat, like sweating. So these are the five major effects of the fear. Now let's go to the next segment, and this says overcoming fear. How to overcome the fear? There are seven ways we can overcome the fear. The first way, it is the exposure therapy. What is this exposure therapy? Whatever you are afraid of, whatever you are fearful about, so let's get closer to that. Let's try to face it, but in a safe manner, little by little, not suddenly, not abruptly, not without preparation. So it is the exposure therapy, very carefully treading toward what you were afraid of. The second is, it is the cognitive behavioral therapy. So that for that we need the help of a mental health practitioner. The third is, it is the mindfulness. What is this mindfulness, by the way? The mindfulness mean that although all of us have a past, and there will be lots of regrets about the past, lot of pleasant experiences about the past. We don't have to dwell in the past at all. We don't have to keep ruminating about the past experiences at all. We need to learn whatever we can, then let it go. All of us have a future. So instead of keep worrying about the future, let's plan it a little bit. Let's prepare it a little bit. And then come to the present, come to today, and come to the present moment. So that is mindfulness. The technical definition of the mindfulness says that a state of mind achieved by focusing one's awareness, by consciously focusing one's awareness on the present moment, while calmly acknowledging and accepting one's feeling, one's thoughts, one's feelings, and one's body, one's thoughts, one's feeling, and one's bodily sensation without judgment. So that is mindfulness, highly effective. And for that, we don't need to go to a mental health practitioner. Then next, the third way to overcome. It is the relaxation techniques. The relaxation technique says that we need like deep breathing, like yoga, like progressive muscle relaxation, like the body scan. There are many. So we need to practice the relaxation techniques. Now the fifth is, it is the sport groups are available, and it is take out the smart from the phone from the pocket, or use your laptop, a computer, and there are groups online which are the sports groups about how to overcome this fear, how to overcome that fear. So it is a very good idea, contacting or be a member of the sport group. Now the sixth is, it is the self-help books. are reading the articles. Now there is a very useful way, and that is the YouTube. Go to the YouTube, and there are many such techniques. There are podcasts, there are lectures available, and which can benefit us a lot. Now the seventh way to overcome these fears, it is the seeking of professional help, the help of a mental health practitioner. Let's repeat this in few seconds only. So how to overcome the fears? Number one, exposure therapy mean doing what you were afraid of, but little by little, bit by bit, and keep increasing with the passage of time. Then a time will arrive when you will say, this is totally not something to be afraid of. Now the second is, it is the cognitive behavioral therapy. For that we need to go to a mental health practitioner. We can learn it. The third is the mindfulness. The fourth is, it is the relaxation techniques, practicing the relaxation techniques. The fifth is the contacting the sport group. The sixth is the self-help books, preferably the YouTube videos. Now the seventh is seeking professional help. So, dear friends and fellows, it was a very useful, very beneficial discussion indeed. Remember, fears are normal. Remember three things. Remember three things. And the fears are normal. Fears can be overcome, and you are not alone who are suffering from these fears. There are plenty of people in the whole of the world. So, for that reason, there is a problem. If there is a problem, there is a definitely solution of it as well. That's all from me today. Thank you very much.